Hello, in this video we're going to take a look at lines and slope. Find the slope of the line between these 2 points. So remember, the slope of the line is, some people think of it as the rise over the run, and what that is going to be is the change in our y values divided by the change in the x values. And it doesn't matter which point we call point 1 or which point we call point 2. We just need to make sure that we're going to do the y value from one of the points over the x value from the same point. And then we'll subtract the y value from the other point on the top and the y value from, or the x value from the other point. So I'm going to go ahead, this first one I'm going to list y1, the second one I'm going to list as y2. And so our y values, remember, are the second ones listed. So that's going to be the 7s. So we're going to get 7 and -5 come from our first point, always the y over the x. And then we're going to subtract 7 on the top and 3 on the bottom. When we simplify this, we're going to get 0 over -8, which is 0. And what that means is we have a horizontal line. Horizontal line has a slope of 0. There's no rise, but it'll run. And so if I can draw a straight line, we're going to get a line that is horizontal, has no slope. All right, if we look at this second set of points doing the same thing, we have the point 4, 1 and the point 4, -4. Again, we want to subtract our y values on the top. So 1 minus a -4 on the top. The 1 was matched up with the x value of 4, so it's going to go right below it. And then -4 was matched up with 4, and so we're going to have a 4 right below that -4. When we simplify that, 1 minus a negative is going to be 1 plus 4, so we get 5 over 0. Anytime you have 0 in the denominator, that means it is undefined. And undefined slope means that we have a vertical line. And so there we have our line that goes straight up and down. It will rise but never run. And then our last example here, we have the point -5, 2. And the point 0, 3, doing the same thing. We're going to, our y value of 2 is going to be over our x value of -5. And then 3 and 0, 3 is our y value, 0 is our x value. When we simplify that, 2 minus 3 is -1, -5 minus 0 is -5. Those negatives cancel, and so we get a slope of 1/5. And that means that it's going, since it's less than 1, it's relatively close to 0. It's going to be fairly shallow. We're going to rise 1 and run 5. So we're going to get a line that is not completely flat. Since that's a positive number, it's going to be going up to the right and down to the left. And we call this an oblique line. All right, so now let's look at graphing a line. So graphing a line that goes through the point 2, -1, that has m, that's going to be our slope of -1/4. Now you can think of this as -1 over 4, or you can think of this as 1 over -4. All right, first thing we want to do is graph our point. First coordinate there is our x coordinate, so we're going to go to the right 2 for a +2. And then down 1, because our y value is a -1. That is going to give us a point there in quadrant 4. Remember, quadrant 1 is where both the x and the y's are positive. Quadrant 2 is where the y is positive, but the x is negative. Quadrant 3 is where both x and y are negative. And quadrant 4 is where the x is positive but the y is negative. All right, so we can look at either one of these. I'm going to use -1/4 for my first one. So that means we're going to rise a -1. So that means go down 1. And we're going to run a +4. So we're going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another way of getting that same line, we can look at our slope in the other context. We're going to rise a +1. So we're going to go up 1. And we're going to run a -4. That means we're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to give us a point there on the x-axis. And we see that connecting those 3 dots does give us the line. All right, I'll see you guys next time.